Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lynn. Namaskar. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. High voltage campaigning on for the third phase of India's parliamentary election. Top leaders hold rallies and road shows in various constituencies. India's External Affairs Minister Jaishankar rejects US President Biden's xenophobic reference, saying India's economy is not faltering and has historically been very open. In an attempt to halt almost 7 months of conflict with Israel, Hamas delegation to travel to Cairo to resume Gaza ceasefire talks with positive spirit. World struggles to cope with climate change-induced extreme weather patterns. Heat wave sweeps across India, floods and rains in Kenya and Texas, 39 killed and 70 missing in rain-hit Brazil. Well, let's get you the latest on the world's largest democratic election in India. India's Prime Minister and senior BJP leader Narendra Modi on Saturday held rallies in the eastern state of Jharkhand for the general polls. And addressing a rally in Palamu, the Prime Minister underscored the achievements of his government and warned against the dangers posed by the Congress and its allies. The Prime Minister highlighted the significance of each vote and the transformative impact that it can have on the nation.
आपके एक वोट ने ऐसा काम किया कि पूरी दुनिया भारत के लोकतंत्र की ताकत को सलाम करने लग गई थी। आपने 2014 में अपने एक वोट से कांग्रेस की महाभ्रष्ट सरकार को हटा दिया था। आज भारत का पूरी दुनिया में डंका बज रहा है।
Prime Minister Modi also campaigned in Jharkhand's Lohardaga to garner support for his party. Addressing the gathering, the Prime Minister criticized the Congress party for its history of corruption and nepotism, he alleged. Later in the day, the Prime Minister is scheduled to hold election rallies in Bihar's Darbhanga and Uttar Pradesh's Kanpur. And campaigning for the third phase of the Lok Sabha elections is on in full swing. The Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath is in the central Indian state of Madhya Pradesh, where he held a rally in Ashok Nagar in the Gunna Lok Sabha constituency. Jyotiraditya Scindia is contesting the election from Gunna on a BJP ticket. The opposition Congress party leader Priyanka Gandhi Vadra addressed a rally in Gujarat's Banaskantha. In order to garner support in favor of the party candidate Aditya Yadav, the former Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister and Samajwadi Party Supremo, Akhilesh Yadav is holding a rally in Gunnor district of the state. Samajwadi Party Supremo Akhilesh Yadav and party leader Dimple Yadav will hold road shows in Uttar Pradesh's Mainpuri. And the Rashtriya Janata Party leader Tejasvi Yadav is holding, in fact, multiple rallies in Bihar. The third phase of the Lok Sabha elections will be held on the 7th of May. 93 constituencies from 12 states will be going to the polls. So it is from the Rashtriya Janata Dal. Now, of the 10 seats going to the polls in the third phase in Uttar Pradesh on the 7th of this month, Mainpuri is a key constituency. In fact, the contest is between the Samajwadi Party and the BJP. Dimple Yadav is the Samajwadi Party candidate from Mainpuri after the demise of Mulayam Singh Yadav. Our correspondent Amritpal Singh caught up with her.
Of the 10 seats that go to polls in Uttar Pradesh on the 7th of May, one key seat is that of Mainpuri, from where Dimple Yadav, the sitting MP from this seat. What does the contest look like when we talk about the whole of the state of Uttar Pradesh?
India Bloc Alliance and the Samajwadi Party is doing quite well, and we will see unexpected results in these elections, because what I believe is there's a lot of problem regarding the youth, regarding the farmers, regarding the women, and as well as regarding the policies that has been carried forward by the present government.
But the BJP claims that it has what they call a double-engine sarkar. They say they are in the center, they are in the state, they've led to a lot of development, and that is why people will vote for them.
There has been management failures. There has not been any kind of investment in the state, and that is why we don't have job opportunities for the youth here.
Okay. Even while you claim that you have the support, your opponents attack you, saying you're a dynastic party.
I think if he's saying like that, he's questioning the whole process of democracy, because we as individuals are going to the people of the country and we are asking for their support. Now it is up to the people whether they support us or they don't support us.
Rahul Gandhi filed the nomination papers from Rai Bareli. The BJP alleges that he is scared to go to Amethi. He had consulted Akhilesh Yadav.
It is a party decisions from where which candidate has to fight, and it depends upon the party.
Okay. Are you confident you are retaining this seat?
Yes, I'm very much confident. I'm getting a lot of respect, love of the people of this constituency.
So Dimple Yadav, they're saying that she is receiving love and affection of the people. We'll have to see whether that converts into votes for her and her party and the India Alliance. With cameraman Yogesh Kumar, this is Amritpal Singh in Mainpuri, Uttar Pradesh.
Well, at the invitation of the Election Commission of India, 75 delegates from the election management bodies of 23 countries have arrived in India to witness the world's largest elections unfold. The election body is holding an election visitors program for the foreign visitors to familiarize themselves with the nuances of the Indian electoral system and the best practices used here. Delegates are from Bhutan, Mongolia, Australia, Madagascar, Fiji, Kyrgyz Republic, Russia, Moldova, Tunisia, Seychelles, Cambodia, Nepal, Philippines, Sri Lanka, Zimbabwe, Bangladesh, Kazakhstan, Georgia, Chile, Uzbekistan, Maldives, Papua New Guinea and Namibia. They are all taking part in this event, which starts today. The election fever has gripped parts of India and many states are all decked up. In fact, for the third phase of polling that's taking place on the 7th of this month. Although the arrangements are in place, the searing heat has thrown a serious challenge to the administration as well as the Election Commission. Ravi Daman reports from down south in Karnataka.
The heat is on, quite literally so, in the peninsular India, breaking records of past many decades. The heatwave conditions have made life miserable in vast parts of southern India. Many state governments are taking preventive measures. Kerala has already declared holidays in the schools. But areas which go to polls on 7th of May are facing a serious challenge. First problem is being faced by the leaders who are campaigning for the votes. Take the case of Union Minister and BJP candidate for Dharwad Lok Sabha constituency, Prahlad Joshi. As mercury soars northwards, Prahlad decided to move early in the day and join many during their regular morning walks. The meeting served dual purpose, connecting with the voters and yet managing to beat the heat. Statewide, other candidates are also taking precautions of evading the heat and doing campaigning either in the morning or in the evening. But the real challenge is for the district administration. Surging mercury has prompted a series of steps by the officials to ensure that the voting doesn't get affected.
Conducted in the peak summer, that is in May 7th, we have elections in Dharwad. So in such a situation, heat wave guidelines and what are the precautions to be taken and what are the guidelines to be adopted, Election Commission has already given a directions on that. We are ready with the adequate medicines required for this heat related illness. Already we have distributed, supplied polling station wise, say ORS packets and other heat wave related, illness related medications, whatever precautionary measures are required, we have already given all this medical kit to the polling station wise polling staff. And apart from that, we are going to deploy one staff from the medical and health department in the polling station. In case of any emergency or any requirement, our staff will extend the health support from our side.
The authorities have also streamlined deployment of ambulances and medical staff in and around the polling booths. One health worker will be deployed in all the polling booths and provision for ORS packets will also be made.
And especially we are giving focus to the senior citizens because they are very prone to this, senior citizens and persons with disabilities. So these people have been given special focus and special queues have been formed and they are ensured proper shade is provided and proper sitting arrangement is provided. Extra chairs have been provided and wherever there is heat and we have provided them fans and somewhere with coolers also. So all these arrangements have been made to combat this heat wave.
With the meteorological department warning of continuing rising mercury, the real challenge is to ensure that the voting percentage doesn't slump down.
It's a challenge for everyone, including the Election Commission of India, the district administration and the political parties to ensure that voters come out in large numbers despite the weather vagaries and exercise their franchise. So far, the Indian voter has ensured that he overcomes all obstacles, man-made or otherwise, and help democracy thrive in India. With camera person Mor Mukut Sharma, Ravi Dhiman, DD India in Dharwad, Karnataka.
Well, people vote to fulfill their aspirations and their responsibility. People in West Bengal's Malda, where two constituencies are going to the polls, Uttar and Dakshin, they will be going to the polls on the 7th of May. They have been waiting to give their aspirations wings for decades. So far, it has only remained a flight of fancy. But the issue is gaining traction among Malda's voters in this election, as Gautam Roy reports.
What you see stretching behind me towards the horizon is not an F1 track. It's the runway of the defunct Malda airport. It should have been operating flights, but at this time in the evening, it's being used by people for all kinds of purposes except for flying in and flying out of Malda.
Be it morning or evening, the entire Malda airport becomes an exercise and recreation zone. The West Bengal city's residents descend on the runway to take walks, jog, zip around on bikes, and even take driving lessons. Ice cream cart owners and vendors of other eatables also set up shop within the derelict airport's premises to draw in customers.
Come here to morning walking and evening here to say there is many people has come to here and gathering. They are playing, or also the riding motorcycles and vehicles also.
Malda is the top producer of mangoes in West Bengal, India's top mango producing state. But the absence of an operational airport hampers the export of this perishable commodity.
An airport facility is required to export mangoes. To far off countries, there is an airport in Malda, but no flights are being operated from there.
Uttar and Dakshin Malda go to polls on the 7th of May in the third phase of the national elections along with Murshidabad and Jangipur. The region's abandoned airport has become one of the reasons for a slugfest between political rivals with different perspectives on the way forward.
The state government needs to work more to develop the site into a proper airport along with the centre. The communication between the two should be good. But the CM does not engage much with the centre. She does her own thing.
This airport will have to be shut down. Otherwise, only small planes will be operable from here. Buildings have come up around it. Flights won't get clearance.
Malda Airport remains in limbo while political adversaries slug it out. India had 74 operational domestic and international airports in 2014. This number went up to 149 in 2024. Will Malda ever be added to this tally?
Malda Airport was operational when it began in 1962 after the acquisition of 144 acres of land. Flights did take off and land here to and from Kolkata and Balurghat. But over the years, it fell into disuse, and although efforts have been made to get it going again, but so far they've been unsuccessful. And Malda residents now want, in time of elections, that this is something that should be prioritized and there should be flights landing and taking off here again. With camera person Uttam Singh, Gautam Roy, Dakshin Malda for DD India.
What's still to come here on this edition of DD India Live? The India Meteorological Department had sent out an alert for a severe heat wave in 7 states. That heat wave has taken effect. The fear of H5N1 bird flu virus spreads in the United States. Dairy farmers have been warned. And the Madrid Open throws up unexpected finalists.
As India decides in the world's largest election,
we help you feel the pulse of the nation.
I am Sakal Bhatt.
I am Shubhendu Ghosh.
This election season, join us on a journey of India.
We are in Assam. This is the tea city of India.
From down south, Tamil Nadu.
Discover the colors of democracy.
Gateway to northeast of India.
Coastal state of Kerala. Watch Poll Pulse on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Mark Lynn. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has rejected the US President Joe Biden's comment that xenophobia was hobbling the Indian economy, economic growth. This is what a reputed Indian daily has reported on Saturday. Dr. Jaishankar said at a roundtable hosted by the Economic Times newspaper on Friday that India's economy is not faltering and that it has historically been a society that is very open. And now some updates on the aid to Gaza. The United States expects to have on-the-ground arrangements in Gaza ready for humanitarian workers to start delivering food, treatment for starving children and other urgent assistance as early as mid-month. This is when the American military expects to complete a floating pier for the aid. This is what an official of the U.S. Agency for International Development has said. Talks of a truce in Gaza, the conflict there, are making progress. What's happened is that Hamas has sent a delegation. In fact, they are sending a delegation to Cairo to discuss a truce deal. As per the Egyptian sources, Hamas and CIA officials will meet Egyptian mediators on Saturday, hours after the US's CIA director, William Burns, arrived in the Egyptian capital. Hamas said that it was sending a delegation to Cairo to discuss a truce deal along with the release of hostages in Gaza. Egypt, Qatar and the United States have been leading efforts to mediate between Israel and Hamas to broker a deal for a ceasefire. The White House spokesperson Karine Jean-Pierre has said that the U.S. has not seen a comprehensive plan on Israel's thinking for a potential military operation in Rafah on Friday.
We've been pretty clear. We haven't seen a comprehensive plan, as it relates to their thinking on the Rafah operations. We have been also clear that of our concerns of any major operations, military operations into Rafah, we have said, and you all have heard us say, there's more than 1 million Palestinian civilians living seeking refuge in Rafah, and we want to make sure that they are their lives are protected, and so that is important. And we want to continue to have the conversations that we've been having with the Israeli government.
Here's the Russia-Ukraine conflict update. The Russian drones struck Ukraine's second-largest city, Kharkiv, early on Saturday. According to officials, the attack sparked fire in an office building and injured 3 people, 2 of whom are being treated in hospital. The regional governor, writing on Telegram messaging app, said that emergency services were involved in bringing the fire under control. Hope Hicks, who's a former top aide of the former U.S. President Donald Trump, has testified on Friday at the criminal hush money trial that Trump is undergoing. She said that Trump told her to deny Stormy Daniels' allegations in the final days of the 2016 presidential election. Hicks was intimately involved with the final stages of Trump's successful bid for the White House in 2016, when the hush money payments to the adult actress Stormy Daniels were allegedly made. Trump pleaded not guilty to 34 counts of falsifying business records to conceal the payment, and he has denied all wrongdoing. However, the 12 jurors and 6 alternates have yet to, hear from the main players in this case. They include Daniels and Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen. The defense argues that the hush money payment was made to spare Trump's family embarrassment and not to protect his presidential campaign. Some weather-related news now. Residents across India have been grappling with searing temperatures as the scorching heat wave has gripped several parts of the country. Authorities had said that a heat wave to severe heat wave conditions were likely to persist in a few places of India till the 5th of May. Meanwhile, light to moderate rainfall with isolated thunderstorms are forecast over northeast India during the next few days. Similar conditions are likely to continue in Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh till Sunday. In Delhi, the weather department has predicted cloudy sky with the possibility of a drizzle during the day. In Indonesia, search and rescue efforts are underway after floods and landslides triggered by heavy rains killed at least 14 people in South Sulawesi province. Over 115 people have been evacuated in the region so far. The floods in South Sulawesi's Lubu Regency have affected over 2,000 families and damaged more than 1,900 houses. Indonesia's Search and Rescue Agency, however, said that the water levels have since receded in some areas. Heavy rains across Kenya have killed at least 210 people since March. Weeks of torrential downpours have triggered landslides, washed away homes across East Africa, raising fears of more floods and higher casualties as higher rains continued to pound the East African nation and its neighbors. Heavy rains battering southern Brazil have killed 39 people, and the death toll is expected to rise as 68 people are still missing. Brazil's southernmost state, the Rio Grande do Sul, is grappling with one of the worst storms in recent years, prompting the state government to declare a state of public calamity. Authorities say that the havoc has affected more than 20,000 people, and the storm also triggered landslides in the region. The president of Brazil visited the affected locations and discussed efforts for rescue. Heavy rains also brought flooding to parts of southeastern Texas. In fact, the Texas governor has issued a disaster declaration for the area. Flooding is expected to continue in parts of central and east Texas through the week and also next week. Authorities have evacuated some residents living along the banks of the East Fork of the San Jacinto River, and also on Friday, the river swelled to 75 feet above sea level. The fear of H5N1 bird flu virus spreading widely in the United States. That's what health officials have warned. They warned dairy workers to remain alert because they remain at risk from this virus that is infecting dairy herds. And they've urged them to wear protective gear and to avoid infection. Infection by bird flu is rare in humans, and the dairy workers' case first was reported in March, and it represents only the second known human infection in the United States. It allows a worrisome spread of the virus in a variety of mammal species, however, raising concerns that widespread exposure of people could cause the virus to spread more easily among the population and spark a global pandemic. The Russian 7th seed Andrei Rublev reached his first Madrid Open final with a 6-4, 6-3 win over Taylor Fritz on Friday. Rublev, being the highest seed left in the tournament at the semi-final stage, was all smiles after his straight sets win. The 26-year-old will now be the favorite to claim the title, his second in this year. The Russian 7th seed will face the Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime for the title, and Aliassime qualified after his opponent Jiri Lehecka retired from the other semi-final due to a suspected back injury. An exhibition dedicated to the rich traditions of national crafts was held in Turkmenistan. The exhibition was decorated with the gems and enamel, handmade Turkmenistan carpets, painted bowls, plates, teapots and other items with their colorful design and skillful painting. Traditional arts of Turkmenistan. And that's all we have in this edition of DD India Live. Let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those of you on the go, you can get the latest and all updates from India and across the world on our mobile app, DD India mobile app. That's available on Android and iOS platforms. Scan that QR code and download it. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. My name is Mark Lynn from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.